How do you write product descriptions that actually convert? I keep getting asked that question a lot, so let's do a video on it. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. My name is Chris Wayne, and in this one, we're going to be talking about a simple 5-step product description strategy that actually works. If you're struggling to write product descriptions for your store, if you're having trouble making your product descriptions convert at a higher rate, then this video is for you because these simple steps can make a dramatic difference to your conversion rate. So if you are struggling with getting conversions on your store and you're not sure how to create high converting product descriptions, then make sure you stick around to the end. Now, obviously, there are a number of ways to do a product description, but I'm going to be talking to you about the ways that have worked for me and what I've seen most success with. You know, there are different methods, there are different techniques, but like I said, I'm going to go over the ones that work for me. You can replicate these onto your stores and hopefully you will see the same success that I have. But before we get into the content, please can I ask that if you're new to the channel or if you've been watching my videos and you aren't subscribed, you do hit that subscribe button right now because I want to try and hit 10,000 subs by Christmas. So if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and it'll round off this decade. And I can't believe we're even saying it's a decade, but we'll round off this decade really nicely with a big 10K. So yeah, hit that subscribe button and we'll get straight into it. So you've done the hard bit, you've created your ad, you've advertised it to the right people, and you've actually got somebody that you've advertised to land on your product page. And the very last step now is to convince them to actually add that product to the cart and buy it from you. And that is probably one of the most difficult steps of all, is to get that viewer, that potential customer, to actually part with their cash, because no one's going to do that easily. You have to convince them. And the way to convince them is through your product descriptions, which means product descriptions are one of the most important aspects of an entire store. You know, a lot of people really sort of skim over and don't put a lot of effort into it. But if you're spending money on advertising, then don't ruin the chances of getting that sale by not having a powerful product description in place. Now, even though product descriptions are incredibly powerful, they are very, very difficult to write, and to write them in the correct way is a challenge in itself, and it is a skill. It's a skill you have to learn as you become more experienced with e-com. So this video, I'm going to be breaking down my 5 simple tips that are going to help you write the most perfect product description so you can increase your conversions on your store. So tip number 1 is know who your target audience is. You ought to be able to define the features in which your potential buyers are going to be most interested in. And to do that, you need to sort of create a buyer persona. So as you're writing your product description, what you need to be keeping in the back of your mind is, how did they come to your store? What are they interested in? How would this person describe that particular product you're trying to sell to their friends? And most importantly, what features and benefits would be most important to that potential buyer? So for example, if you were, say, trying to sell a cat necklace, we're just going to go with something really simple as a cat necklace. The person coming to your store isn't interested in it because it's a necklace. They're interested in it because it's a cat necklace. And that is the angle you need to focus on. Now, a lot of this is probably common sense to some of you, but you'll be surprised how many times people overlook this simple fact. You know, people will start to list off that, you know, this necklace is silver plated, or it's made of nickel, or it's this certain length, or it's this weight. You know, the customer, the potential buyer, isn't coming to your store to buy a necklace. They're coming to the store to buy a cat necklace. So you need to start to focus on the types of things that potential buyer will be interested in when it comes to cats. You know, start to play on their emotions, start to, you know, talk to them about, you know, how much they must love their cat, you know, show off how much they love and support their cat by having this necklace. You know, try and angle it around the cat rather than the necklace. The second point is focus on the product benefits. I can't say to you how many times I see people bullet point features that nobody's interested in. You know, if you start putting things like made from high quality material, like what does that actually mean? You know, who really cares about that? You know, you would expect any product you buy to be made of high quality material. So having that as a bullet point seems a little obsolete. So you need to be focusing on the actual benefits of that product itself. So an example of this would be this Calm and Quiet Place Yankee candle here. So if I just scroll down to the product description, you can see that it's got a bunch of specifications and features, etc. But what they actually do is they actually talk about the benefits of this particular candle. So as you can see here, use your favorites involtive candle holders to complement existing decor on your bedside table. That's the benefit. It complements existing decor. You can add great dimension to candlescapes and centerpieces. Another benefit, you know, showing off the home a little bit more. And they also have a self-extinguishing feature and because the flame goes out on its own once all the wax is gone. That's a benefit, having the flame go out instead of continuing to burn even though there's no wax. So those are actual benefits of the product. Rather than pushing the generic scent of the candle and telling you what it smells like and the size, etc., they talk about the actual benefits of that candle and what it can do for your home. One of the main benefits of that candle is the self-extinguishing feature. And even though it is a feature, the way they've worded it makes it a benefit. It basically says that you can light it and forget about it. It's safe, unlike most candles where you light and you have to keep an eye on them. This will sort of self-extinguish once the wax runs out. So before you begin writing your product description, make a list of all the features and all the benefits, and against each one, write down how it either increases the pleasure or decreases pain points within their life. And then sort of figure out which ones are the most powerful ones, the ones that if you are interested in the product, you want to see from the product, and list them on your store. Make a focus around those benefits, because if you can solve a problem for the customer, which is one of my main winning product criterias, then having that on your product description can make a massive difference. So before you start writing your product description, what you need to do is you need to list all of your features and convert them all into benefits. So an example of that to do with this candle would be that the candle is a 1 3/4 ounce candle. That's a feature. So to convert that into a benefit, what you can say is the fact that it is a 1 3/4 ounce candle means you can have it in smaller places, like in a bathroom or a bedside table. It allows you to put the smaller candle in smaller, more compact areas. And obviously with the self-extinguishing feature of the wax and the wick, then that's another benefit you can link in. And it's about converting those features into benefits to give the most impact to the customer. Step 3 is to tell a good story about the product. You need to convince the buyer from more of an emotional angle rather than a transactional angle. You need to convince them that this product is needed in their lives, and the best way to do that is to use kind of like a mini story. So to do that, when you're writing your description, what you need to do is you need to think about how this product is going to be used in your customers' everyday lives. What is it going to make a difference to them by doing? So if you're doing something, say, along the lines of snowboarding goggles, okay? I've had a lot of success with snowboarding goggles in the past. So to convert that into a story, you can start talking about how hitting those slopes on the mountains is going to feel amazing. Or you can start talking about how the unparalleled vision of those snow goggles are going to allow them to see for miles on the side of the mountains. Try and put that product in the place where they're going to be using it, to give them a vision of them actually using that product for its intended purpose. And the more they can actually think about it, and the more they have that sort of emotional connection to that product, the more likely they are to buy it. Setting the scene like this will allow the customer to sort of see the product in a more emotional view rather than a transactional view. And if you do it right and you use the right words and sort of create this environment where the customer can see themselves using the product, they're going to forget they're being sold to. All they're going to be thinking about is what that product is going to do for their lives. The 4th step is using power words. Power words are so important when it comes to selling. These are the keywords that really sort of drive home the need for that product and why your customer should buy it from you. So there are certain words that naturally elicit emotional responses in humans. And there's been a few studies done on it, but what these kind of keywords do is it sort of invokes that emotional response where the customer feels like they need even more. So some of these words are things like amazing, delight, devoted, jaw-dropping. So when you write your description, try and think about these power words. So instead of writing things like nice or high quality, write things like stunning or sensational. See the difference in those power words there can make a huge impact on the customer when they're looking at buying from you. But don't overdo it. Just have a sprinkling of them. You don't want to be writing every single sentence, firing power words in there, because it's not going to seem right. And you want to kind of use sort of normal, sort of native language when you're writing your description. Don't try and do it like a bot has just fired out a bunch of words onto a page. Don't do that. Try and write the product description as if you're having a conversation with someone, but just sensationalize it a little bit more to sort of elicit that emotional response from the customer. So then the 5th point and the final point is make sure your product descriptions are easy to scan. People have a really, really short attention span. And I think I read somewhere that people only actually read 16% of descriptions on average. So you want to make your description as easy as possible to read through. And the easiest way to do that is by using things like bullet points and short sentences. Don't do paragraphs after paragraphs after paragraphs, because people don't read it. Another thing that I like to do, and I like to make certain words stand out, is I like to bold them. So if you are having to write a sentence that might be a little bit too long because you want to try and get enough information in there, bold out those power words. So if you're going to write stunning, bold the word stunning. If you're doing things like free delivery and that's in your description of one of your reasons to buy, have it in bold, free delivery. Sort of pick out keywords. As people scan down that product description, they're going to see these bold words, and that's what's going to stand out to them. And if they're only going to read the bold words, if they're only going to read 16% of that product description, you want to make sure that the words they do read are the ones you want them to read. So that's where the bold comes in, that's where bullet points come in, and that's where short 1, 2, 3 sentences come in. You don't want paragraphs after paragraphs, because I know personally I don't read product descriptions. I skim it and I look for bullet points. Just subconsciously, I look for bullet points because that is the easiest way to get the most information from a product page without wasting too much time if it's not what you want. So those were my top 5 tips for creating high converting product descriptions. If you're not doing them, if you're missing some of them, then make sure you get them on your page, because it can make a huge difference. And hopefully you'll see your conversion rate skyrocket by putting these in place. Hopefully you found all this useful. Hopefully it got your mind thinking a little bit more. If it did, please make sure you drop me a like on this video, because it really does help with YouTube algorithm. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments. As usual, I'm answering everything that comes through. So if you have any questions at all, drop them down there. If you want to learn more about dropshipping, all the links are in the description, so go and check them out as well. And finally, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really do want to hit 10,000 subs by Christmas. It's going to be a brilliant way to wrap up the decade. So if you are new and you're not subscribed, please hit that button. Help me out, help the channel out, show your support. But that's the end of this one. I'll catch you in the next one.